What's going on, guys? Michael Grimm here, and welcome back to the video. First thing I want to say is you guys have absolutely been loving latest videos. Every video has done amazing in terms of views, and the channel is massively growing. Almost hit 300 subscribers, which doesn't sound like a lot, but for the most part it's taken a long time. So I'm so happy to finally see it actually get to a number like this, and hopefully we can carry on this massive growth and grow really big. I know over the last couple of days I haven't done many videos and I've kind of missed out certain things that you guys usually love, but the main reason for that, of course, is personal problems, and at Christmas, of course, I have to see family and open gifts and spend time with people, so it's kind of hard then to make videos. Also, because I edit, record gameplay and write by myself, it's really hard to get a video done quickly. Also, my PC is pretty small and really isn't a super powerful PC, so in order to actually render a video that's, say, 7 minutes long, it takes half an hour, and because my internet's not amazing, to upload that video it then takes 3 hours for a 7-minute video. So I might actually get a video done around about 4 o'clock, it's going to go up at 7 o'clock then, which might not sound bad, but people might not be awake. I might get a video done at 5 o'clock and then 8 o'clock, and people might not be around. Obviously, don't think many people sleep at 7 o'clock in the day, but people are going to be eating food at that time, going out and things like that, and even then I'm usually doing stuff as well, so it becomes hard then to actually make the video on time. But aside from that, I'll get straight into this video, a bit of a rant. First of all, I'll be doing less Battlefield 1. Mainly to change up the meta, but also because I find Battlefield 1 an extremely fun game when I do play it, but for the most part I have every gun except 3, and those 3 I don't have, I'm not really interested in. So I'm going to try and play more games and have more fun, and actually show you guys more stuff in different games as well, something I've always wanted to do, but Battlefield 1 will still continue to be the main focus. Now, of course, for this first episode of the show of Versus, we are comparing 2 operators. I'll compare guns on Battlefield as well, and maybe even on Call of Duty, Infinite Warfare and Modern Warfare Remastered as well, but for this we are doing Rainbow Six Siege. Now, the ways this can be done, I'm going to compare them on usefulness, how effective are they with the team, how much they're actually going to help you win the game, and are they really the operator that you need to pick. I'll be graded on a ABCD system. Second of all is their guns, basically how powerful are their guns. Have they got a super powerful shotgun, a really fast firing SMG, or a super accurate assault rifle, and obviously that's going to be graded on a out of 10 system as well. After that, we have gadgets. This is things like grenades, C4, barbed wire, the deployable traps. For the most part, operators are going to see the exact same one because a few operators have the exact same gadgets. But for the most part, again, this will change up. Operators with C4 will obviously have an advantage over somebody who only has barbed wire and deployable trap. And then lastly, we have usability. This is mostly for new operators. Usability basically means how easy is this operator to use. If you're a new player, you don't want to go up and use Glass a lot because it's extremely hard to use. But somebody like Thermite in this episode is actually quite easy to use. And this one will also be graded on a out of 10 system. For the most part, I won't add up these scores and say, oh, so-and-so has more points than so-and-so. This is mainly just to give you guys an idea of certain details of the character. Obviously, things could change as we get new operators, or I think of new ways to compare operators, but for the most part, I'll tell you who is my favourite at the end of the video and who I think is the most effective overall. And obviously when I compare operators, there'll be some kind of similarity they share. I'm not going to compare, say, Galaz with Montagne because they have no similarity. For these two, obviously, they're both able to breach through reinforced walls. So for this reason, I'm covering these two and seeing which one is better between the two of them. Now, the first thing I'm going to talk about is Thermite. Thermite, of course, has been around since the start of the game and has always been an essential operator. He's gone through, I believe, 1 or 2 changes in terms of weapons, but his exothermic charge, which can destroy reinforced walls in order to make you walk straight through the wall without having to climb over anything or anything like that, hasn't changed at all. Now, for Hibana, she has an exothermic grenade launcher, which has 6 charges, 3 rows. And now for Hibana, she has an exothermic grenade launcher which can fire 6 charges in 2 rows of 3 on top of 3, and this can create sort of a murder hole, but 3 of these creates a hole big enough to walk through, while 2 of them creates one you can climb through. Now, both are great for breaching through reinforced walls, but they do it in different ways. Thermite is more of a basic, put it on a wall, blow up the wall, walk right through, while Hibana can be used a bit more variably to make a murder hole, to make it a hole you can climb through, to make it maybe a bit quicker, or just simply just because you want to save one of the charges as a murder hole. But for the most part, they do a very similar job, so for that reason they both are an A category operator, basically meaning they are essential in a way. You can always pick one of these guys and have them breach the wall. I'd honestly say if you have all the operators you need, pick 2 of them, because then you have a huge chance of getting through the reinforced wall, as opposed to one of them dying and thinking, oh shit, now we can't go through reinforced walls. Now for their guns, both get an assault rifle. Hibana's has a faster rate of fire, a higher damage, and 10 less rounds, but for the most part has low recoil as well. Now I kind of find Hibana's weapon to be a lot better, and I really love her assault rifle. It's a lot of fun to use. And Thermite, though it is very good and the Thermite magazine is nice, the rate of fire is quite slow. Again, the damage isn't as high, even though you can go for headshots, of course, the damage still doesn't have an effect. And the recoil is kind of high, but occasionally you can accidentally get a headshot because it kicks so much and just happens to land around the head. Now both shotguns they have are decent. Hibana's is pump action and Thermite is a semi-automatic. I believe Hibana's has more range and more damage, but then again it's pump action. So for the most part the shotguns don't hugely matter. Nobody really uses them, but occasionally you see them around. Now the deciding feature for me is that Hibana has an SMG secondary. This basically means you pick up the hostage, you still have a fully automatic weapon in your hand. You don't have to pull out a semi-automatic pistol where you're at a disadvantage. You can still use something that's going to put a lot of bullets down range. And in general, the SMG is very good. If you have a weapon that has 900 rounds per minute, then obviously you can go around a corner and take somebody out extremely quickly. So for that reason, I think Hibana gets an advantage, and she gets an 8 in terms of weapons, while Thermite gets a 7. Now for the gadgets, Thermite only gets a claymore and a smoke. He used to be so much better when he had a grenade, mainly because a grenade is just so powerful, and because of the exothermic charge, you place one on the wall, throw a grenade through, and it's just an absolute bunch of chaos. They did of course take that away, and like I said, now he only has a claymore and a smoke. For the most part as well, the claymore is limited use. Sure, you're going to find most times that somebody is roaming, but seriously think about how many times you've been killed by a claymore, got a kill with a claymore, or seen somebody killed with a claymore when they're trying to flank behind them. It doesn't happen a huge amount, and for that reason it kind of brings down his gadgets. And he also has a smoke, which is a bit of a specialist use. If you really know how to use them, they're effective, but again, for the most part, nobody really uses them, and even then, they're barely effective any of the time. Now Hibana does again have a claymore which has the exact same problems, but she does have a flashbang. Now again, this is decent to use, but it's really easy to avoid. You just turn away, and for the most part you barely ever get flashed, and if you do, it's mostly because you weren't paying attention. So for that reason I'm giving both of them a 6, because the claymore is decent. Again, people will know what to look for now, and even then, people rarely plant it very well. And the smoke and the flashbang are just decent to use, the smoke being more specialist and the flashbang being more simple but easy to avoid. Now lastly we get to usability. Now Thermite is a super simple walk up to the wall, plant the charge, back up, press the big red button and the wall blows up and you can walk right through. And now Hibana is slightly more advanced, not in the sense that you need to do a bunch of stuff and there's whole tactics to playing as her, but you need all 3 shots to make a hole you can walk through. And most people are going to go up and put one there and just not do anything about it, and if you have a rookie player or somebody who's in general new to Hibana who doesn't know what they're doing, they might not put enough charges on the wall and end up making a more problem for your team as opposed to help. What I'm basically trying to get at is that if you have a new Hibana player, she walks up to a wall and thinks, okay, I'm going to put one charge here, one charge below it so we can climb through, that might not be the idea to go for. You might want to put one on the wall, look through, see if there's anyone there, hell, even destroy 5 of the charges just so one is there, making a really small hole to see through, and then put the rest there. Also because Thermite is just so simple. Walk up to the wall, put it on, back up, blow it up, job done. Hibana does take a little bit more work to get effectively, but again, is pretty damn simple. That's why Hibana gets an 8 and Thermite gets a 9. Now overall, in terms of which one I prefer using, I'd honestly say I prefer using Hibana, mainly because of the fact that you can do her exothermic charge at range. With Thermite, you have to walk up to the wall, put yourself in jeopardy as you're planting it down, and people might come from different angles, some above you, and you can be pretty hard to actually stop them at that point, obviously, because you're putting a charge down. While with Hibana, she's kind of like Ash meets Thermite, where you can be at a distance, shoot the charges on the wall, blow them up, and still be far enough away that if somebody flanks behind you, you got a better chance of surviving than if you're Thermite. Again, granted, you have to use all 3 charges to get through the wall, meaning that if you used all 3 of those, then you don't have anything else you can do aside from just kill, and even then she's not that effective at it. But if you can use them tactically, maybe put one here, and then create one below that to make a hole you can climb through, and then one you can see through, she can be really effective. Honestly though, I'd say it doesn't really matter which one you pick. They are so similar in the way they play, their guns are similar, their gadgets are basically identical, a flashbang and a smoke. There's some difference obviously, one flashes, one smokes, but there's no real difference in what they actually do. They obscure the enemy's view. So for the most part, it doesn't matter which one you pick because they're basically identical with a slight few changes. If you are a new player, I would suggest playing as Thermite again, mainly because it's so simple, but if you're a new player who knows a few more tactics, obviously Hibana might be a better option for you to go with. Regardless, hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. More of these will come out eventually. Obviously with new operators, I'll compare them maybe to other new operators we had, or anyone who's similar. I'll just compare those 2 operators and see what they're like. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Rank Up Gaming, out.